Checking connections. Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome to Sunday, ELR 360 Live. Hello, everybody. Good to see all of our here on a Sunday. Hello, Elizabeth. Hello, Lauren. Hello, Gil. You are in for, I don't know what's going to happen today. It's going to be a very interesting show, though. That is for sure. We will be joined by Monica and Anna. I think this might be the first time together live doing this type of broadcast. So for those that you don't know, Phil Rosenthal is married to Monica Horan Rosenthal. She played Amy on the show, and Anna is married to Raymond, and they have been since way before the series. Hello in San Diego. Hello. Hello, Todd. Hello, Window Poons. Yes. Hello, Barbara. Hello, all of our fans. Good to see you. Hello. Leo, are you getting snow in Toronto? It is 83 degrees here in Hollywood. So I'm not sure how that translates exactly, but I know that it's not snowing. It's a balmy temperature here. So let me bring up my mic. We will be joined. Hello, everybody, and I want to talk. I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving for those of you in the United States, for those of you that are in around the world and don't celebrate Thanksgiving. You missed the very full period of eating Thanksgiving turkey. Yes, hello, Tina. Yes, you're getting a lot of snow in Toronto. That is great to hear. Hello, everybody. Yes. So that turkey. Let me just invite a couple of people here. Let's see this. And sorry, I'm searching through my things. Okay, here we go. And now inviting Anna. Let's see if Anna is on here. Not yet. Okay. Hopefully she will join. So, yes, I had a very good Thanksgiving. I actually saw Ray and Phil, both of them on Thanksgiving, and that's how this came about. Hello, Karen in Plymouth. Do you get snow in Plymouth, England? I would assume, let's see, when I was there, when was I there? Don't even remember the time of season, but it wasn't that cold out. Hello, Bobby in Hawaii. Hello, Teresa. Teresa, you watched all of the Thanksgiving. Yeah, and I can't remember how many we did. Was it 8 Thanksgiving episodes? I'm not really sure. So, but I know they were all great. They were all memorable. Of course, the Patricia Heaton dropping that turkey is such an iconic moment. Okay, Monica, if you are watching, you may have to make sure that your Instagram app is current and you are on your phone, because you can't do it from the computer. So that the dropping of the turkey was scripted in that it called for that, but Patricia Heaton did such an amazing job. I posted that series of pictures. I'm sure I have more that I haven't. Okay, a bit hard to hear me. Hold on, I will plug in, but then something funky happens when we have guests. Is that a little bit better for my audio? Yes, so Patty Heaton dropped it, slid around, all that stuff obviously happened in the moment, but during rehearsals, I mean, that was rehearsed. And I know I've said this in the past, you can't really ad-lib that much stuff because there's 4 cameras, there's a switcher, there's all of these different people who are relying on certain cues. So as much as I'd like it to be, well, just anything can happen, you can't really ad-lib it. So, yes, and a great. Oh, Monica.
Hi, Tom. My glasses on. Oh, yes, that is you.
Yes.
Anna should be coming now, too. We've been texting.
Oh, okay, great. So those of you watching, and when Anna, by the way, thanks for doing this, Monica. Yes, I've been.
Bodhi's mom.
You bring a lot of audience with you, Monica. Now, I'm going to say this before Anna comes on.
Yeah.
You love this is going to sound
Live.
Well, you're used to being interviewed and you're used to being on camera. And Anna, that's the last thing Anna wants to do.
I know, but she's always so funny.
Yes, absolutely. She's hysterical. And so I know that for people are like, have Patty on, have Ray on, have this on. And I want to talk to everybody. We love talking to everybody, but you're asking people to take an hour out of their Sunday afternoon, right? You have to go into hair and makeup for however
Anna
many
can't
hours.
Get on. Wait, she can't get on.
Anna, restart your phone and try again.
Just my fault. I was texting her before.
Oh, Monica.
See,
we did it.
Guilt.
Yeah, we did a test. So
we
did a test with Anna earlier. So she probably just has to restart and that will take care of it.
Everybody's so nice.
Yes. Monica, I would say, hi, Tom. This is the most I've seen of you behind the camera. Interesting.
You're always taking pictures. Tom is always taking pictures.
Yes, I have thousands of pictures.
Many. I wish I had my Raymond family album up here. I don't. Downstairs.
You have the Godfather.
I know.
You're backwards.
Here, I could move over. Oh, there's the 10 Commandments. There's Guys and Dolls.
Oh, nice. That's very nice. So, Monica, just let's talk about Anna while she's not here.
Oh, we love Anna.
Because we're going to recount kind of the starting, and what I wrote in the post is you're having these private fights.
Go away. Yeah, sorry.
Private fights, and then all of a sudden they're in a TV show seen by millions of people, right?
Right.
And so I think this is a good opportunity to hear the other side of the story and set the record straight about a couple of things.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yes, and I think there's one. And look, we're not going to run out of things to talk about. So
yes, can I talk about one before Anna comes in? She's still trying.
Yes.
On Thanksgiving, Lily and I started the day watching The Bird by Jeremy Stevens. The Thanksgiving episode. Oh my God, that was such a great.
Hello, I did it.
Hello, Anna.
Hi.
So Anna, Monica was just in the middle of a story talking about how they watched the Bird episode on Thanksgiving Day, and that your hair looks fine.
Your hair looks so pretty, Anna.
Yeah.
You look so pretty.
Yeah.
I went a little more light. Oh, your hair. Did you like your hair? It looks really blonde. It looks so pretty.
It needs to be done, but I need to lift the thing a little bit.
That's what I
and point down.
I'm on about 20 books here.
Okay. How's that?
Yeah. So Anna, you always want to be pointing down.
Oh, that's good.
You're a little.
There,
yes,
that's better light.
Keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, but how do I do that?
Top.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Galway. Hello, Galway.
This is called. Yeah, it's great.
My family's from Galway.
Right. Hello, Manchester. Hello, everybody. So, Anna, before it devolves into chaos, because I know what happens when Monica's on and when you guys get in the room together. So this is a great opportunity. I've also said, the one thing that you don't like doing is publicity and talking on camera. And so I really appreciate you coming on because unlike Monica, who's, I'm like, not this week, Monica, please.
Monica's so shy. I know.
But let's talk, Anna. Monica, did you want to finish your story about watching The Bird?
No, I was just saying, Anna, in the morning, Lily and I got up, we're such Ray Romano fans. And we got up in the morning of Thanksgiving before the Macy's Day Parade. And we watched The Bird, the one where Georgia breaks the neck of the bird. Do you know that episode? Remember it? Jeremy Stevens wrote it. Our dear Jeremy. And it's great because it's like a little play. It all takes place in
Oh,
just Pat and Hank and Pat's living room.
and you're wearing costumes, right?
And we wear costumes, and Patty put her in rehearsal, put her pilgrim hat on backwards, and they thought it was so funny and so typical Debra that they kept it that way.
Yes, and a lot of stuff happened on the floor. But Anna, I don't
Yes.
want to waste this time.
Yeah, we
with
can't
you.
waste Anna.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No, but let's just go back. Let's just go back to the beginning because because Monica comes in. Monica actually is the one who said, "Let's use this title, Everybody Loves Raymond," which we'll get back to. But you have twins, you have Allie, you have basically the life we see in the TV series in Queens. Ray goes on Letterman, and then do you remember when you just heard the first time that the show's getting picked up?
First of all, well, let me go. Can I go back a little bit?
Go as far back as you want.
So I remember when Ray did Letterman, and I think it was a Saturday or something, and we're in our little, 12 by 12 backyard, concrete, mind you. And,
You're bragging a little.
yeah. And we had a little baby plastic swimming pool. So sorry, whoever doesn't have a backyard. So I think Ray was talking to someone from Letterman, and we heard, Ray goes, "Oh, they want to give me a development deal." So that was like a big thing where they sign you on and you can't sign with anybody else, and they try to, do a show around you or whatever. So that was like the first thing, and I was like, oh my God. So then they did the scripting. I remember the faxing coming through in our kitchen, all the faxes going back and forth.
Wow.
Yep, and they were writing in my kitchen. And then, you know what? I don't even remember the exact time that the actual show got picked up. I think I just knew it was gonna I don't know. I just felt confident about it.
And did you come out for the pilot?
I came out for the pilot, me, and I think I just came by myself.
Or Allie. Did Allie come? I remember you were here with Allie at one time. Was that for the pilot or
maybe
no?
I brought her, maybe. I don't remember. But yeah, we came out for the pilot, and it was just so exciting. And I mean, it was a new world. I knew nothing about that world, And you know what's so funny? I remember this one little stupid incident where I remember Erin Champion was there, right? She was there from day one, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
And then she worked for Phil. I believe it was her. And I remember, oh, can I use the restroom? I need to use the restroom, And she goes, you can do whatever you want here. Like, what about, Not realizing what she meant until later. I realized, oh, yeah, I can,
I'm the wife.
It took a little while to feel comfortable, but that little thing I still remember, and that was, I don't remember much from that far ago, that long ago. So
yeah, and I'm going to go back even a little more. In your place in Queens, okay, when Ray and I were doing stand up, and he got the script that Phil had written, the brilliant script, and your aunt, your Sicilian aunt, was living in your basement. Okay. Yeah. And from Bissaquino. She was living in your basement in the thing. And I remember Ray just wanted to what ultimately we called Rayifying the script, which is kind of put stuff in his words, And and we knew nothing, but I was like, Ray's like, can you type? And so he came over to my house where I lived with two other comedians. And then he said, Anna's getting angry. We have to work at my house. So I said, okay, but we had to wait for your aunt, I think, to leave, whatever it was. So we're.
Wait,
so
why
then,
was I getting angry? Because he was not home?
He was spending all day with me, just working on the script. And so, and we didn't know what we were doing. So it's mostly goofing around. And so then we went back to your, but the thing I remember most was at the end of season 1, and Monica might not remember this, you had 3 kids and a husband and no dishwasher.
Oh, yeah. So, I remember very well.
Phil and Monica bought you, that was the big gift, a dishwasher for Anna. That like really.
And I remember it had to be special because it was so narrow in your
so
kitchen.
small.
The counters were so small.
I think the delivery people just came and I was like, what is this? And I go, Ray, there's a dishwasher? I was like, no.
We
But
don't
by the
have a
way,
dishwasher.
that cost us money because we had to remove the cabinet.
Oh,
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Allie's
this is
coming.
turning ugly.
Oh.
Hi, Lily. Lily, we're just starting, and so Lily, for those of you that are watching who don't know, Lily is the daughter of Monica. Monica played Amy on the show. I'm going back. There was a question of, oh boy,
Get the stuff off.
Sorry,
Hold
sorry,
on.
Tom.
Helping me electronically here with these.
oh,
stuff.
thank goodness, Allie. But we did a test. Oh, we lost her. We lost her.
Lost her, literally.
Okay.
Oh my God,
You
that's
can't-
Crazy.
You can't write that timing.
No.
So she'll be back.
Lily, how do I get those away?
You
Or
can't.
I mean, I want to see them, but I want to make sure. Can I put
Oh,
them down
you
lower?
can scroll up and down.
Oh, how'd you do that?
Aw.
Oh,
Anyway.
so poor.
There, there we go. There we
There
go.
you
Yay.
That timing was unbelievable, you guys.
Allie's helping me with electronics. Click.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I-
now,
Off by myself.
yeah. So Anna,
Yes.
then the show gets picked up. You came to the pilot. Allie, do you remember if you went to the pilot?
I not because I was probably
Five.
Do you remember coming to our backyard though, Allie, and playing on the little structure?
I do remember being at that house. Yes.
Because then they ended up using that structure. Ray in the first opening credits
Right. Where
was
he's
Ray,
building it and
building
he
it.
gets stuck inside.
and we have pictures of you playing on it. I should find them.
So that's what they're talking about, the opening credits for what ended up being the opening credits of Everly's Raymond pilot, where Ray is trying to assemble a thing. I'm reading this comment. This is great.
I
So
have
uplifted.
to go. I'm watching House of Gucci with Phil, but I love you guys, and I
wanna
have to
see
go
that.
because I'm getting
Lily, all the goodwill about
Yeah, why
your
do you have to
parents
go out?
buying them a dishwasher just got lost by you watching the House of Gucci.
so sorry.
Margarita.
No, but I love.
Anna, I love that you're
Allie,
doing
what are you doing?
this. You're
But
a natural.
All right.
Allie,
Lily, come back
Rosie,
another
right
time
here.
with your mother. And I will say, I'm going to read this comment, Allie. I'm going to read this comment, which is, let me see where I have to scroll back a lot. You look
I'm
lovely.
gonna see
You
what
guys
people
look.
are-
Anna's hair is a nice strawberry blonde, lovely. Hello from the UK. So lovely to see Monica and Anna. Yes, and hello from Florida. Yes, okay. I'm trying to find this one comment, which about it. Basically, it said it's so good. Here we go. This is great. So uplifted to hear Hollywood folks struggle with the mundane. Dishwashers. Yes.
Oh.
Yes, absolutely. So now, Anna, I'm just gracing by.
Yeah.
Someone just. If I don't answer some of these questions, then goodbye, Allie.
Bye,
Allie.
Allie.
Bye.
I hope that Allie can come on again by herself with Lily, maybe.
Sweet.
Someone asked, "Does Anna act at all?" And I just want to say the answer is no. But you, unlike Monica, what's that?
Scenes. In
Yes,
ELR.
you've been in scenes, but just because people lump people together in a normal way, Monica came up in theater, so she was an actor.
Oh, yes.
So it wasn't Phil didn't say, "I'm going to stick my wife in the show and see if
No,
she can
it
act."
was actually Steve Scrovan.
No, I know it was another writer, but Anna was the reluctant who's like, "There's a
Oh,
scene. Do you want to be in the background?" So I just want to delineate that Monica comes from a theater background, and
Still actress. I'm just for fun.
Yes.
I did it for fun.
yes,
Yes.
absolutely. So then
Always funny though.
let's go back, Anna. The show gets picked up, right?
Yeah.
Which is, Ray is a stand-up comedian who's successful, but there's not a lot of money in stand-up at that point. It's not like he's a banker or somebody or an investment banker where they're rolling the dough. So just getting the show is such a
Oh my God.
relief. But you're coming off of something that happened the year before, where Ray was on news radio.
Oh yeah, that was such a disappointment. So Ray got he got a part on news radio, he was, I think the one that Joe Rogan did.
Mhm.
And I remember like, oh my God, yes, we're going to Hollywood. We're going to Hollywood. And it turns out he goes on one day of rehearsal or whatever.
Table read.
Was it the table read? I
I
think
think so.
And 1 day rehearsal.
1 day rehearsal.
Oh.
And he called me and he goes, well, he goes, I don't know if the word, I got fired. I don't know how it came down, but he's like, they're going to go in a different direction. And I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? He goes, I'm not working. Like, I just don't have the part, you know? And I'm like, oh, fuck. What am I going to do? Sorry, people. The queen comes out.
Well,
No, but that was scary.
well,
It's because it's exciting, and then it got taken away. Really,
Yeah.
you know?
and I think more, but just only because Ray called me that morning also, when I was living in New Jersey, and he said they're going another way. But I think the nature of your comment is all of a sudden you have the potential to not worry about money for a few months or a few years, and then it just disappears like
It
that.
got taken away before I even got to even
Buy a dishwasher.
spend it on. Yeah.
Yes.
Pay for the installation of the dishwasher. No, but
Yeah.
the thing that's amazing about that is that if that would have happened, there would have been no Everybody Loves Raymond.
I know.
True.
That's right.
True. And going back now we're moving forward. Now Everyone's Raymond gets picked up, but you still know that it could go away very quickly.
Right. Right.
And
so that's why the first season, Ray moved to LA. I stayed in Queens, Middle Village, Queens. Ray
Right.
moved to LA with, and he got a roommate. Do you want to tell who the roommate was, Tom?
well, only because we were talking about it the other day. By the way, someone just asked, how close do you guys live to each other? They live about 20 minutes away from each other, just for the people watching, both all in Hollywood. So Ray was going to move out, but knowing that what happened on news radio and what happens to most shows, rather than going, Anna, let's move all the kids and make everything out, and then maybe have to return in 6 weeks.
Right.
Then Ray's like, well, let me just move out. And he asked me to come out. We had been touring or doing stand up together and stuff. And I was a nice, normal guy, and Ray's a nice, normal guy. We don't do drugs. And like, there's an ordinariness to us. And so I was the roommate with Ray for the first year. And so he had a 2-bedroom business apartment, and Peter Boyle lived right upstairs from us also, because Peter was based in New York. His family, he had the same thing. He had 2 small daughters and his wife in New York. So knowing that most shows get canceled, it was like, well, let's do that. And then the show got picked up a little more, picked up a little more, picked up a little bit more. But you would come out and visit and kick me out of the apartment. And
By the way, also, Tom, I have to also give you a little credit, because Ray went from his mom's house to my, when we got married, and he lived with, we lived together, of course.
Yeah.
But Tom taught him, I think, how to do some laundry.
And I said, and Ray did a joke about it, which he said, I don't know, it's at my house. It goes into a box, and then it's in my drawer clean. I don't know how it happens.
I don't know.
So Ray, Peter Boyle, and I would do laundry in the apartment building laundromat. So if you ever came in, to that apartment building, you'd be like, now, of course, the other thing, Monica, before we start talking more about what came on, is Anna at the beginning said, Tom, I don't want you to bring any women back to this apartment. And I said, okay, but it's not like Ray's Brad Pitt. Like, nobody knows the show. The show's not even on the air yet. And so it's not like it's not like he's a Beatle and they're going to be pounding on his bedroom door. But nonetheless, Anna was very much like, because Tom, you're single, and I don't want any of these floozy women staying over in the apartment. So now,
the ground rules.
There were rules. I was worried.
Yes, there were rules.
Don't forget, I'm home cleaning, snot off of noses and stuff like that.
A lot of noses.
Yes. Well, I'm going to go back one more thing that, Anna, you can corroborate from your side. Before it was Raymond, Ray and I were doing a show at the Improv in D.C. because Ray was headlining, and that's a big money gig, right? That's a full week. But then Ray during this time, this was winter time, Ray's like, hey, I've never skied. Can we go skiing? And I said, yeah. I grew up in northern New Jersey where I skied. And so we went skiing. Now we're driving back and he has to call you because you're home with the kids. And, Ray understand. He goes, she's home. She's like cleaning plum off the ceiling and it's just chaos and terrible. So even though she told me, please do this gig, I still have to be respectful. So when and this is the first time, and this applied to stand up and everyone's Raymond, I'm sitting in the passenger seat and Ray's talking on the cell phone and he's going, what did I do today? Tom and I went down a mountain with snow on it. And I was like, so you couldn't say skiing because skiing sounded like he was having fun. And he goes, you don't get it. You don't get it. You have to downplay the fun. No matter what's happening, downplay the fun. Because, yes, now everyone's Raymond. He's out there with his single friend and he's in Hollywood and you're sitting there trapped without a dishwasher and taking care of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So then when you came out, Anna, what was that like the first time you were on the stage? And
When you mean on the first,
not the pilot, during the series when you would come out.
Well, I moved out. I didn't have the only people that I could call my friends or anybody I knew was Monica and Susan Roth, who was my realtor at the time. My friend. We're still friends.
Good friends.
And really, that was it until, we moved out in July of 97. I was pregnant. And the kids didn't have any friends here, in LA. So when they started school in September, it was great, because then I met a lot of women there. I met a lot of moms and dads and whatever, and they made a lot of friends. So it felt normal. We had a routine and that was great, So, but I loved moving out to LA. I loved the weather. It was so easy. I don't know. I liked it. I know people have something against LA, and it's true, there is. But I think if you ground yourself and you stick to who you are, which I think we did, we just, I don't know, we made really great friends. I have friends that I met on the block, and I have friends from the schools, and then friends from the TV show, of course, from ELR. Monica and Phil are like our family, we travel together and the kids love each other. Really,
yeah, they're like cousins.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. I really
So then, just because I don't want to correct you on your own pregnancy, but when you moved out, I don't think you got pregnant until season 3. Is that possible?
No, it's not, because 97. Well, it was 96 was the first.
When was Joe born?
98.
But February.
February 98. Okay. So because I remember Ray coming in and going, we're having another kid. And
I got pregnant the first season, had him, right?
Say again?
I got pregnant during the first season.
No, I don't think it was, Anna, because Lily was born first in the August before.
And we were
in 97.
Yeah.
And
so only because you were done. And the reason I bring it up,
season. That might have been, because the picture that you showed, Tom, that picture of me where I come out and I look like the great white whale coming out.
No.
Yeah, I'm wearing that big
From
dress.
Good Girls.
That's because it was Good Girls. And it was so funny because at the first season, I was pregnant with Lily and didn't know it. My first episode that I did, I was pregnant with Lily, and it was the 9th, I think, of the first season. So that the second season, when I came back, so if I had her in August and we came back and shot that, and then so it was the beginning of the second season, probably, or the middle of the second season. That Joe.
The only reason I bring it up related to the show is Phil's not going to add another kid to the series. Right? Because there's a point where, right? So not having a baby would have been thing. And I just want to go back and say, when you moved out, and I'm reading some of these comments, Phil was such a wholesome family guy. And all the writers, for the most part, were wholesome, married with kids. Because you hear about these stories of Hollywood in the 70s on the Mary Tyler Moore Show where they're doing cocaine in the writers' room, whatever. And it's crazy. And yes, and this was the opposite. This was such a thing. So just to go back to reframe, Ray was staying alone until, I guess we lost Anna.
Somebody just said Lily played Peggy's daughter. No, Allie played.
Allie did, yes. Allie did, who we saw earlier. But Ray basically, Anna moved out at the end of season 1 is
Yeah.
when that
But
happened.
I remember doing the high school reunion episode. I'm in that, and I was
Oh yeah.
really big with Joe. I was pregnant.
Season
with Joe.
2. Yeah, that's
Oh,
season 2.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let me scroll back a little bit. But then, Anna, what is the first time when you're watching an episode? So in the pilot, even there's things. So let's go back a little bit. In the pilot, there's a couple things that happened to you in real life, like Ray's father, and I posted the picture, but it got kind of truncated. Ray's father in real life liked to play pranks on you.
Yes.
So
It wasn't so much for me. It was for anybody. It was for himself. He was just, he was cuckoo, you know? The answering machine story.
well, so the answer machine, I'll say it real succinctly. In those days, you had an answer machine, and
Yes.
one day they have an outgoing message, and instead of it being Anna's voice, it's Ray's father has gotten into their answer machine and changed the outgoing message. And so when someone called for Ray and Anna, they heard Albert Romano's voice.
Okay, mind you, this was within 6 months of our marriage. Like, it was new. And I already had my hesitations about him, you know? Like, I just already was like, I don't know about this guy in my life. But and then he pulled that, and I literally, I was crying. I was like, my life, like in my head, I'm like, this man's going to interfere in everything. And But Ray really told him, well, in a nice way, because Ray, you know, Ray, he doesn't get mad at anybody. And he told Albert, you can't do this. Anna is upset. She's crying. You can't just intrude in our stuff. Yeah, by the way, he had the same answering machine and figured out how to change the outgoing message and the code. He figured out the code. So anyway, I think he tried to be nicer, you know, or a little more respectful, I should say. But it, you know, whatever. It didn't work.
And we have to tell this story when we were in New York it was maybe when it first syndicated or something happened.
A DVD party or something.
DVD party. That was it. And I'm talking to Bobby. So that's, you know, Ray's brother, Ray's younger brother. And I'm talking to him, and all of a sudden he's looking at me like listening, and all of a sudden I see him go like this. And the minute he did it, Albert, I had my hair up like this, and Albert planted a kiss right there on my neck. Like, he came right up to me and was like, on my neck. It was so weird. And we laughed so hard, and he went, Dad, you can't do that. And I was hysterical. It was so shocking.
Thank God it was you. And
right. I know.
You know,
of course I loved it. I thought it was hysterical.
Oh,
But you know what he said?
Yeah.
He goes, it's her fault. She's got her hair up.
Yeah.
And the neck was right there.
All your fault, Monica. All you.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, what a character was.
And I think
character.
But what you're saying also is you don't, at 6 months in, you don't know how far it's going to go. Like, you don't know. He changed the outgoing message. How much further is he going to do it? So that,
you know,
yeah. So that pilot, and just Ray's parents, they didn't live across the street, but they lived basically
a couple of miles.
Yeah. And they would drop in, and Ray's brother was a policeman who lived in the parents' basement. And also, you know, I think what we're coming up to is boundary issues. There might have been a couple of boundary issues.
There are no boundaries with the remote.
Yes.
I'll tell you that.
So, and I think there's also an East Coast Italian thing there as well, where you're very, you know, et cetera. So then when you, Anna, the first time, when did you feel like, wow, this is really a show and this is really going to happen?
Honestly, when I watched the pilot, I thought, wow, this is like, they just felt like such a family. They all really felt real, you know, to me. And I thought, I think this is going to do well. I never thought, you know, I really didn't even know how far to go, to be honest. I didn't know much about the business, you know?
Right.
But I don't know, as it went on, I was like, well, okay, well, this is, and then, you know, I think by season 2, it was already on Monday nights, right?
Correct.
And
End of season 1.
Season 2. End of season 1. Wow.
So
Yeah.
knew it was a success, and we were going to be fine. And I'm going to
Yeah.
stay in California.
Yeah. And then let's talk about specifics, because Monica, you had to deal with it too. The show just has to be entertaining, but we know that it represents real people. So at what point are you watching going, and I know, let's say, Monica, with in-laws, perhaps, where you go, oh boy, we're going to visit Vietnam. It's more fun than Vietnam. Or Anna, with your, with Lucy and Richard and this, at what point are you going, I can't, I'm worried that the real people are going to be insulted, even though we're making up to make it more entertaining.
I mean, I feel like in the husband-wife relationship, I mean, we didn't care. I didn't care. Whatever. I don't care what people think, because it didn't matter. You know what I mean? I think at times for Richard, it got a little weird, because
Richard is Ray's policeman brother. Sorry.
Yeah. And he also has another brother, Robert, who's young. But his brother, Richard, I think felt like, oh, everybody's picking on me and saying this about me. And so Ray's mom would say to Ray, can't you just make him nicer and normal? And we're like, Ray was like, I mean, I had nothing to say, but
yeah,
Mom, I can't just change the show now, but it was, he got some flack from his mom. From his mom,
basically saying,
do. That's what we do.
That's
Yes.
right. And she was looking out for Richard.
For Richard. Yeah, because I remember Ray coming in the writer's room going, my mother called, Richard's getting flack in the police department because they're making fun of this and that. And you are making fun. And I'm reading comments here, Anna, and someone off of that, someone's like, did it upset you that Debra is such a bad cook? Because people are going to ask you, are you a bad cook? But you knew.
Yeah, no, I cook.
She's a great cook.
Thank you, Monica. But I didn't care. No.
Sure.
Yeah, but you also know how it works. But there is that sensitivity of like, okay, the people that don't know, your friends, etc., going, did that really happen? There is a point, but eventually you become immune to that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my friends, they've never really asked any questions. I don't know if they want. Let's be honest. My friends. I think I got lucky because Debra was such a strong character. She was such a strong personality. I loved it.
Yes.
I didn't care. It didn't matter.
Yeah, and then
Monica's a great cook. That's one.
Monica's a terrible cook. It's not that I'm a terrible cook. I just don't. I don't have the patience or the focus. Yeah.
You don't enjoy cooking, Monica.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. Yeah, it's not your. So I think I'm just scrolling through the comments. I think what people love is you guys come across as very down to earth and normal struggles that everybody have, because that's where you came from as well. It's not like like either of you grew up with crazy wealth and can't relate. It's like it's relating to every single normal thing that we all struggle with. So now, only because I know Anna and Monica from past questions, was there a point when you got a little bit jealous going, Ray, what is he doing with, when you're watching that episode, was there ever a point? Because I know what I'm saying, and vice versa, Monica, I know these are simple questions, but it comes up a lot. Did Phil ever get jealous of you with
Brad?
Or Brad, or did Anna ever get jealous watching specific scenes?
Somebody wants to have lunch with us, Monica.
Oh, we eat everything.
So can I start?
Yes.
Yes, you start, because they had more like makey outy.
I want to go back to the pilot just for a second, because that's when the first time Ray kisses Patty, So we were watching it. It was me and the kids. I mean, they were young. The twins were probably 2 or so, 3.
Yeah.
No, probably 3. So 3.5. So we were watching it, and they were like, "Oh, that's Papa Al." So they were naming the actors as their own family, right? Like, "Oh, that's Papa Al, and that's Nunny, and that's me, and that's Greg, and that's Allie." And then they go, and then Ray kisses Patty, and they go, "That's not Mommy." So such an interesting little, what a comment. Like, everybody else it was okay that it's them, but then Patty is not really me because she's kissing Ray, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It-
interesting, you know?
Yeah.
It's-
It's too close.
I
Yeah.
think it's hard, and I think coming from for Monica, if you're in acting class and used to being in theater, kissing other people as part of the job, you know, it really is
Yeah.
part of the job. So it's not from the outside. For I think for the general public when they're watching this, they're
Yeah.
going, I can't imagine my spouse kissing somebody else. But in acting, and Monica, speak
Yeah.
to that a little
Yeah.
bit.
It's funny because I'm actually even thinking more about of Patty and Ray because God, that never was weird to us. And maybe it should have been, I don't know. But I mean, everybody was so married. That's another thing on that show.
Yeah, right.
It was kind of strangely, you know, stereotypical in a way. You know what I mean? There just happened to be a lot of married people, you know,
Yeah, everybody.
and heterosexually married people. It was kind of a unique thing that there'd be so many.
Yeah.
In
And
Hollywood.
we all were. There were a lot of writers, actors, married, kids.
Everybody
Yeah.
just having their babies. Patty
Yeah.
was
And we were having Patty was pregnant also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
pregnant for what?
twice.
Yeah, twice.
Season 1 and season 3. And so, yeah, I think that whole set, knowing the feeling of the set,
Right.
for me as a single person, there was almost zero tolerance for being single. So you have to, you know,
Oh,
but
no,
it was
but
a
Tom-
wholesome, yeah, it was
They
a
loved you being
wholesome
single.
setting. Yeah, it was a wholesome setting. And that's what we're speaking to, because the relatability that came out in those episodes were, you know, Phil would say, who's having a fight with their wife? And that came on not as like who's having marital problems, but we need what people didn't understand often who wrote in. They're like, why is Debra so angry? It's like, because look at the situation she's in. That's why she's angry. And people getting along, like when Ray's mother is like, can you just be nicer and have it?
Uh-oh.
Technical difficulties, Tom.
Tom, we can't hear you.
You need Allie.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
There's a delay. You know, people used to say that to me, that they thought the people were too angry. I'm like, oh God, don't come to my house. Remember Ben, the angry family?
Is everybody
Yes.
lovey-dovey at home? No. I mean,
Right.
aren't
Well,
you angry and then there's some lovey-dovey? I think that's
well,
our house.
yes, and I think that's what Phil was getting to in many ways, that you saw Frank and Marie, but you understood there's a, you know, the cold cream moment, and there's these soft moments where you know underneath it all, because yes, that's normalcy, but also you're entertaining people. So all of us, everybody we watch, everybody on this phone call, George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Andrew, we all have boring lives. For the most part, our lives are not filled with endless excitement, but to make a TV show, you have to keep people entertained for 22 years. And also, you know, I know that for my Sicilian relatives, when you're at their house, you feel like, oh, this is the biggest fight I've ever heard at a house in America. And they're just going, do we have any fruit in the house? You know, are we out of melon? And it's,
Their voices are like, they sound angry all the time.
yes. And so Anna, sorry, just because I know with Monica, I can reel them off the top of my head, but can you think of episodes that were directly lifted? And I think there's one I'm just going to start with, that the Pet the Bunny episode. I don't know if you even remember that. And I know it sounds funny when I say that because I'm speaking to like round zero of so many stories, but the people watching have watched it 1,000 times, episodes. And we,
What
not
is it?
necessarily.
Oh,
Pet the Bunny was Ray, I think was Pet the Bunny is an episode, but I remember Ray talking about having a bunny or something at your house. There was some pet, that he would go. But can you think of anything other than that were directly from your life? Because Monica had a lot of fights that with
Yeah.
Phil.
I don't even remember most of the episodes, so you might have to.
Well, wait a minute, Anna. I think Ray wrote one half of PMS and Phil, or Bad Mood Rising.
I don't know.
I think
You, Monica.
that was all me, I guess. But I know that Ray. I know there was a lot that was from mine.
Honestly, Tom, you'd have to.
Yeah. So maybe
Frank said it.
You know what? We'll do it afterwards. I'll do it afterwards when I remember some of them, because Monica there was a can opener episode. There's the PMS episode. There's the wedding dance. There's the angry family. There's a whole bunch of very, specific things. Now, the whole relationship between you and your father-in-law, and
Yeah,
you
that's
and
true.
Yeah, that was related,
through.
I think, for sure.
Yeah.
And by the way, Ray's mom was not that she wasn't a great cook either, Monica. She's like you. She didn't really
She didn't care. Yeah.
So,
Well-
that's where Doris and her were different.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Boyle is very similar to Albert.
Yes.
I think Deborah was very similar to me and probably most wives,
Yeah. There
and
was a question about did Ray pester you for sex all the time as well? You don't have to answer that, Anna. You can ask
That
for
was
your
always
lawyer.
a running joke.
Yes.
It's always the running joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And for those of you that have, for those of you who haven't watched, Ray has a Netflix special called Right Here Around the Corner, and you can see the whole family in that. And Ray does have jokes in his act about that as well. And now, let me ask you something, Anna, because Monica has the person playing Amy. Monica has no complaints about, because it was her. And so, but when you saw Patty, were you like, oh, I don't know, and in any way, or were you like, I know she was strong. You said that before, but Patty's very pretty, and she's but she's not Italian. She's a very. It was a decision to have them. On Phil's part and casting wise also, because Patty was so perfect and she didn't look Italian. But were there any?
I think no. And no. She's also small. I'm going to say short, like me. So that's similar, but that's it really. I feel like she was excellent. I think she played, if it's going to be me, she played me well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Case.
And I think the fact that she had when I think about it, because I have some pictures of like Patty sleeping, during note session, and I'm thinking, this poor woman also has 4 kids, and she just had one, and it's 4:15 in the afternoon, and you got, how, I don't know if she slept at all. So you guys were all in the same boat, really.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But
And
she carried the show. I mean, that was the thing. I mean, I would be in awe of her, because she would be so focused and able to, because she had a lot of responsibility on those shows. Yeah.
And I will say this, that we when I talked to Patty on here, there was one moment where I was doing my gag reel thing, and I go, here, Patty, here's the lines, and she goes like this, and she goes, yeah, okay, and she hands it back to me. I go, you can study, she goes, I got it, and it sounded like she was lying. And then she reeled it off. I was like, oh my goodness. Like, what an astounding
photographic memory. Kind of.
Anna, I'm only because I'm reading these questions. There was a question of why didn't Anna have her own daughter play Allie on the show? And there wasn't even a thought of Allie being an actress at all.
She wasn't an actress. So
yeah.
Yes. And she did play, what was it?
Molly.
Played Molly a couple of times. Yeah.
And she was adorable.
They were also all in that baseball episode. I don't remember what episode.
T-ball. It was called T-ball. Yeah.
The kids.
Yeah, the T-ball episode. So just for people, again, Monica was an actress and came. We needed somebody to play this, and one of the other writers like, your wife would be really good at this. And Phil was like, please, anybody but my wife. And so it ended up being. But Monica, that was what she studied, and that's what she did. And you're, going back to what we were talking about before, the show could have been canceled. So it's not like you're going to send your 4-year-old daughter to act in, it just wasn't even the.
No, it wasn't even a thought.
And also, you would want your daughter to want to act as well. And so that's, It's not even on the radar. Sorry, I have to take a coffee break. 1 second.
Nebbish.
I love that.
Isn't that cute?
Oh, have you?
I love that. That photograph is so good.
You don't have a mug? I'll talk to the people.
So do you know somebody?
A little Christmas, a little something under your tree, Anna.
Yeah, 4% off.
Maybe
now
that'll be our white elephant this year.
this might trigger.
The nerve
This, Anna, this might trigger. Sorry to interrupt you guys having
No,
fun,
sorry.
but there are some people watching from around the world. There was a time, Anna, that I remember Ray saying that you were upset, and it was at this scene. Okay, there was a scene where Ray and Debra have to stare into each other's eyes for a long period of time, and that almost felt more intimate than the kissing.
Yeah. Well, let's not forget they never really like had a passionate kiss. You know what I mean? I think they
Right.
kind of, tap kissing or whatever. So I didn't really. It never bothered me, the kissing. But you're right. So Ray doesn't make a lot of eye contact
In real life.
I'll tell you about our first kiss. I don't think anybody. I don't know. But anyway, it might give insight.
Yes.
He drove me home to my mom's. I lived with my mom at the time. So we parked his car. He parked, kissed.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it.
Whatever.
And so it was our first time. So I now, usually there's a little I don't know, eye contact, or you talk to them, or you look at each other, right? There's a little more than just kissing and then bye, I think there used to be more than that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So he kisses me, whatever. And I look at him and I'm like, okay, so I'll talk tomorrow. I don't know. So I'm looking at him. He's literally looking straight ahead out of the windshield. And I'm like, all right, this is in my head, this is a little weird, but I don't know. All right. That was it. Went in my house and then look, the rest is history.
Yeah. It worked out.
It worked
Most women would be happy. Yeah. Go stare out the window all you want. Yeah.
Yeah. As Ray always says, I gotta. He says I like to give her credit because it was not promising. It was not looking good. And I said,
Hey.
It paid off.
Yes, a guy living in his parents' house at that age. Yeah, absolutely. Now, here's
that was unusual. So
yeah, here's another.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think just in Ray's defense, he's shy, and so even when people are going to meet him for the first time, and I'm like, hey, you're going to see Ray at my house, let's say for a pizza thing, he doesn't not like you. He just doesn't. He's just shy.
Yeah.
And so, which Johnny Carson supposedly was that at parties. You would see Johnny in the corner. Here's a guy entertaining millions of people every night, but he wasn't comfortable making small talk, etc. So in Ray's defense, he's just shy. Now, I do remember also, Anna, only because I'm trying to trigger your memory.
Yes, thank you. I need triggers.
You're watching an episode with Ray at home in bed, let's say, and you say to him, you just talked to her more than you've talked to me all week.
I do remember that. Yeah.
And what did Ray say? Or tell us.
Well, I have writers. Writers are writing my words. And I'm like, well, maybe they could write something for you to read. I don't know, because
Keep them lines at home.
I think it's a common complaint, though, that men aren't as not to get into psychology, but men are more closed-mouthed, and women share their feelings and are open about that. And so, but most men don't get trapped by having a TV show of their life being aired in their bedroom, where there's somebody look how much you're talking. And I do remember, Anna, you and I were driving, we were flying somewhere, and you said, Ray should win an Emmy for this episode. It was an episode of his other show, Men of a Certain Age, one of his other shows, Men of a Certain Age. And I said, why? And you said, he's flirting with that girl. He's doing all this stuff. And I said, but Anna, the Emmy judges don't know that he's the guy that looks out the window of the windshield and doesn't flirt. And I said, it just looks like a normal guy.
You were so impressed, Anna, with his acting.
By that. I have to tell you, that show, I did get very jealous. I got very jealous of that. Because first of all, I didn't know anybody on the set. I was not part of it.
Yeah.
With ELR, I mean, really were just a family, and they had filmings every week, and I went every week and I watched the things, and I took one kid, I alternated the kids. It was just it was really just like a family. So
yeah. We were very lucky.
And I think also, sorry, Monica.
I was going to ask Anna, men of a certain age, and then also vinyl.
Oh boy. Oh boy. So hold on. I got to give. Yeah, I got to give a reference to be. I got to clarify for people before this devolves into. Yeah. So
Ray with women.
on Everybody Loves Raymond. It's in front of a live audience. The show is done in 1 week's time. Patty, Patricia Heaton, and Anna and Monica, everybody knows each other extremely well. So as I read comments in the past year, people are like, I think Ray and Patty had a thing. And it's so comically laughable when you know the players.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And that's called acting also.
Mm-hmm.
So if Patty joined us today and said, Patty, you and Ray, was there? She would probably not stop laughing, in a funny way. Nothing to do with, Ray's desirability or anything. So a lot of people watching don't know what we're talking about. Men of a Certain Age was a single camera series that was on TBS. It was award-winning, Peabody-winning, a great thing that was based very much on Ray's real life and a guy based on me, the Scott Bakula character, and then another character. So it was a single camera thing. But there's no group, there's no meeting like we had on Everest Raymond where we're at Phil's house and we know this. Anna's an outsider watching. Then Vinyl is a Martin Scorsese HBO project, which means there's sex and swearing and this. And now Anna's even more removed. That might as well be on the moon. Yeah. And so, and Ray, because I want to stay on Everest Raymond, but that was the HBO series had a lot of sex and a lot of, stuff. So Anna has to watch. And what is she going to say? You tell Martin Scorsese, no, I'm not letting you do that. So I think that was a different animal.
Yeah.
And what about Anna? Because somebody mentioned it too, and I know we'll get back to Raymond, but he was so good on Parenthood too.
Parenthood.
And what was your life around that one? I don't even remember.
Well, Ray played. I feel like his character was a little bit. I don't know.
Close.
Yeah, spectrumy. A little Asperger's-y.
Yeah. So which I think in real life he might be a little bit on the spectrum because eye contact thing, I think, I don't know. He was never diagnosed.
So just for people, just for people watching, Parenthood was also a series. It was a drama series with Lauren Graham, and he has an affair with Lauren Graham. And in the character, he plays a guy who bonds with a kid who has autism in a very sweet way. And so Ray's character is the guy that might kiss a woman and then stare at a windshield. And so
that's right. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So
I always tell Ray, I feel like in every character he's played so far, there's a little bit of him in each one, like there's some kind of trait in there that's his real trait. You know what I mean?
That's because he's a great actor, though, honestly, because he owns it. I'm a fan, Anna.
I know.
No, but I did look at all these other things. Sorry, Tom, not to be taking over.
No.
But I want to say also, Anna, I think also when you look at it, because people are writing about all the different things, it also changed because like when Raymond started, that was the first big thing, but now he's done so many. Yeah. So your experience with it's probably a little bit more like, oh, good, honey, go punch in, sparkle, shine, come home.
Yeah. Go do your thing. Come home. Yeah, exactly. But he's definitely grown. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. And we should, and right now he's on an HBO project called Made for Love, where he has a relationship with a doll. And so we can get into that
I'm
another
not jealous of this one.
Of the
he
doll.
was very nice to the doll.
You've approved you approve that.
It's really weird. It's weird.
So only because, as I thought, we only have about 2 minutes or so left. That's how quickly this has gone. Yeah.
It was great.
I was a little nervous.
You were perfect.
Don't worry, you were nervous because you don't want to appear with Monica,
well,
who can be vicious.
No, on made me less nervous.
Yeah, no, I don't. So I'm gonna.
You're great.
Before we go back and ask some questions, answer some questions. Can you come back? Do you want to come back again, Anna, in just January or February or something? You're not gonna. I'm not gonna get an angry text from you going, "I'll never do that again. Please don't ask me." Yeah.
Anna, the people said they want to see you again, and they also said you should have your own show.
Yes.
Oh yeah, okay. That yeah. I will come back. I'm
You're
gonna
an entertaining lady.
put it to you so
Great.
I have some memories.
Great.
Watch
So
some episodes.
yeah. Oh, I'm scrolling back through. People asking. So where you can get these mugs? I think it's called philrosenthalworld.com.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, Phil
Yeah.
Rosenthal World, and I
Yeah, and
believe the proceeds go to World Central Kitchen.
Yes.
And-
This
Yeah.
it's backwards, but life short. Talk with your mouth full. Phil Rosenthal. It's from his.
Hi,
Somebody feed Phil.
Oh,
It's from his show. It's from his show. So somebody feed Phil on Netflix. Yes. Saying hi to people. Sorry. Yes, Ann and Monica, please come back.
Paula. My
Oh, Paula.
okay.
Yes. So tell everybody happy Thanksgiving. Everybody, yes. I'm just scrolling through to see if there's anything I missed. Anna, do you want? And this is what I thought would happen because you guys know each other so well, and we could talk for about 6 hours right now, but we don't want to punish the people.
Get some wine. We'll have wine, Anna.
And I just want to explain.
We'll have a cocktail hour.
Yeah, well, you can all be in the same room next time when you're both in LA at the same time. But there's a picture that I wanted to talk about. Let me see if I can pull it up that I posted, and I just remembered it. And I don't know if you remember this moment, but it was from an episode. I'm going to pull it up on my phone. It was from an episode called PTNA, which I happen to write, and you walked into the writer's room. So here, by the way, here's there's that went that's funny. That went to that's Elizabeth Herring. That was so there's you and Patty. These are all posted, okay, and there's Monica waving from Good Girls, okay. And then this is season 1, I think.
Yeah, that
Monica.
was my first episode, I think.
Oh, okay, yes, and there's Anna and Patty and Philip.
Yeah.
Yep. And so now sorry, Monica, this is from PMS, which I hear is from your life. But and then of course,
I love that scene with you guys.
That scene
when Brad picked you up and Ray couldn't get her up,
and she's like her body.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, one of the favorite scenes. And here, this got truncated, and I'll put this better. That's Ray's real life father and mother, Albert and Lucy, who changed the outgoing message. But here you are with Joe, your youngest son. Sorry, I'm getting on the set. This might be season 4 or 5 with Pat the editor.
Look,
Elena. And Lisa Helfrich. Yeah, but here's one with Phil and Ray. I think it's the 100th episode. They're getting flowers. But here's the one I wanted to show you, Anna, that I don't know if you remember this moment. So this is from PTNA. We're in the dressing room, and people who are on Instagram can look at it closer themselves. But you're standing at the door. And what happened here is Patty Heaton is they're running lines. Okay, that's what you call rehearsing. They're rehearsing. They're speeding through their lines in the dressing room. All right. And then you open the door just to say hi. And Patty Heaton runs from across the room and jumps on Ray's lap. And she's saying right there, Anna, you don't know how we rehearse. Okay. You don't understand the process, because she's dressed like a hooker. Do you remember that at all?
Nope.
So if you guys zoom in on the picture. You had
4 kids.
How do we
Yeah. If you zoom in on the picture, I think I'll obscure it, but you're standing at the door. I'm standing right next to you with the camera, but you're standing. Yeah, you're standing at the door.
Behind.
It's in the mirror, so it's hard to. There's Monica and Brad, but Patty was very funny.
I don't think is that me? Oh, it is me.
Monica, it is you.
Yes, I do know myself.
Yes,
I remember that sweater.
And but it was so funny because Patty was just rehearsing, and the idea of Patty doing that normally is absurd. But she sees you walk in and then runs across, jumps on Ray's lap, and she's like, "You don't understand, Anna. This is how we work. This is how we." And it was very funny. And you laughed. No recollection.
Never. I don't either. I can't.
By the way,
I was sitting there.
Monica, before we say goodbye, just because you mentioned that sweater, how much say did you have in picking out your wardrobe?
Oh, they did everything. I mean, I would be able to say, "Oh, I like this one more. This one's more Amy or whatever." But
Yes.
and
Okay.
someone I saw earlier said, "Did we write like to us? Did we help create the character?" The writers, you know, especially as things went on, they just got us and what was strong. They always wrote to our strengths, and that was kind of our personalities, like you said, Anna. There's always like a bit of yourself
Yeah.
in them, and that one was the most myself one I ever did for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, which is great.
That was-
All right. Hello from Brazil. People are saying hello from Brazil. Funny episode with the fridge. Yes. All right. So I will see you guys here maybe in January or February. And Monica,
Yes,
I know I love talking to Lily. So you know, you and Lily can come because I want to hear from Anna in here, and you have
Anna
obviously
might be
so many
ready to go
stories.
solo now. She
No,
wants her own show.
No, I don't have enough memories. You guys,
I
No,
just
I-
like
Bigger than
I
40.
like that we get to see each other.
If
We're very
Ray
lucky.
wants to come and say hello,
Who?
Ray.
Oh yes, everybody
Is
wants
he in
to
the
see
room?
Raymond.
No, I have to go get him.
Go get him.
Well, don't get it.
I don't know if he's asleep or. Hold on.
You don't know. Oh boy. Oh, boy.
The
And
people
now-
would enjoy it.
Yeah, Monica. Yeah,
Yes,
no,
yes.
I just don't want to bother Ray because it is
Penny
what's
Taylor?
known
Is that
football.
right, Penny Taylor? Hi, Penny
Football
Taylor.
Sunday. So Monica,
Yes, dear.
do you remember? Because you remember most of the things from those times, right?
I remember
But-
a lot. And also because Lily and I mean, and my family, we watch a lot. We like the reruns.
Sorry,
Is he up?
he's not even here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Anna, next time we'll see if Ray's around. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
we can get Phil.
and just so I can
Pop in.
yeah, just so I can explain because people obviously want to see Ray and Patty, but Ray is not on Instagram. Ray doesn't. When I went live with Brad from your house, Ray's like, "Who are you talking to? What does this even mean? You know, like it doesn't even compute for Ray."
How
So
is
I said
Brad? I haven't seen Brad in a long time. Is he good?
he was great. Yeah.
A long
Yeah, and he. By the way, his comedy club. For those of you, he has
Oh,
a new
yeah.
comedy club in the
yeah.
MGM that just moved.
open. Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
so we'll
great.
have Monica. Maybe you and Phil before too long, because I know Phil's new season is coming out in the spring. So we should talk because I
Oh
also
yeah,
want-
around then. He's going to be off traveling now, though.
yes. No, I know not now. Yeah, I know he'll be gone. And I do. Oh, sorry, Barbara has asked a couple times. Do you miss Queens?
I visit Queens often because my family is still there. My brother and his family. So we go back enough. But I do. I miss Queens, and then when I'm there, I miss LA. So, but I have the best of both worlds. I can do both, so that's great.
Yeah, and I will say, no grandchildren yet.
Grandchildren, we're waiting
Yeah.
with love. But
Yeah, we're hoping. Anna, I will say this: you were talking about New York, and when you first moved to LA,
Yeah.
that you enjoyed the weather, and you're almost apologetic because there's such a looking down on LA when you're from New York because it's real, you know. But the first time I went back to New York from where I'm from, you know, New Jersey, New York, in the winter, I was like, how did I do this every year? It was so like hat off, hat on, jacket. I know I sound like a whiner, but I'm like, you're doing it. And like in LA, you forget, you walk out the door and your hair looks the same all day long. Like and in the winter, you're doing this and it's so just schlepping the groceries.
And now you're a dad. You can imagine. I mean, I can't imagine with the kids. We're so spoiled.
in the winter. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have kids in New York and then you move out here, it's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
what a joy. You don't have to worry about them.
they don't want to nothing.
Yeah.
Rough.
All right.
Okay.
I'll see you guys in the future
All righty.
very
Thank
soon.
you,
Thank you,
Tom.
Anna. This
Thank
was
you.
this was
Thanks,
awesome. I'll post some more pictures. I look forward to our next visit. All right. Oh,
Good.
and give me a big smile because I need a.
Ah,
Bye.
wait, I'll take my glasses off.
Okay. I have to
Tom
choose from
knows.
something.
He knows I
Oh.
always have to open my eyes.
Yes. All right.
Lift
See
him
you
up.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.